I just respect this team and their approach all season long. You know, as I mentioned at the beginning, we've had this situation where we've had a lot of guys out, and our guys continue to step up, next man up, and play solid game, play solid basketball. You know, Lou did an excellent job for us tonight, you know, just running the team, establishing the tempo. We got great ball movement tonight. All the things that we talked about, we needed. We got that tonight, and it starts. It started with our guards. You know, I thought Bogey, you know, found his rhythm tonight, knocking down some shots. Kevin was really good again. You know, it was a total team effort, and guys continue to step in and take advantage of opportunities when they get them.
One more real quick. Do you have any kind of update on Clinton?
No, no, I don't.
Joe Barden.
So obviously Trey couldn't go tonight, and it sounds like he's not feeling well on that. What do you think for him for Game 5?
I don't know. It was the report was just tonight he's out. He didn't feel comfortable enough to, you know, put pressure on his foot tonight. So I'll get a report tomorrow, and I'm sure it'll be a game time decision.
So this is going to sound like I'm trying to blame this on Trey, and I'm not. But the ball, you mentioned already, the ball really was moving more tonight than it has in the series. What was the discussion coming into this game about moving it, and did it have to do did the ball movement have anything to do with, I guess, trying to compensate for Trey being out?
Well, we play a different style of basketball. You know, Trey does a great job of initiating offense for us when he's in the game. And, you know, when we go to our second unit, you know, we have to play a different style of basketball. And that's been good for us. You know, tonight, without Trey, we had to do some different things. We got some good ball movement, and our guys were able to you know, make them defend. We did a good job of taking care of the basketball. Only 11 turnovers tonight. They scored only 4 points off of our turnovers. I didn't think that we had too many possessions where we settled. We made them play from side to side, got good ball movement, you know, really established a rhythm, and was able to knock down some shots. And with that, we was able to keep our floor balanced so that we could get back in transition.
Then with Lou, was there anything that you had to do to kind of lessen the blow on him when he was traded here?
No. Basically, I talked to Lou. You know, I knew what Lou would bring, and we all did. We knew that his ability to score and you know, come off the bench and be productive. You know, basically, I talked to him about the role that Rondo was playing when he came here, and that was a role of mentoring Trey. And he understood that role. You know, he accepted that role. He knew that, you know, Trey is the future of this organization. He's coming in to back him up, and he's done a great job of mentoring Trey, you know, talking about, you know, different situations, how to manage a game, you know, different things that he can do. You know, his minutes was really cut coming here. You know, he was a 20-plus minute guy, and he only has about 15, you know, 10 to 15 minutes behind Trey. You know, so he really sacrificed that role to help this team, and he's done a great job for us.
Rod Blakely.
Coach, when Giannis went out, you guys were out by 10, and often when the best player on the opposing team goes out, sometimes teams take a deep breath and kind of relax. But you guys did. You guys were actually able to just continue forward ahead and get creasy. Speak to what your team allows them to be able to do that and do it relatively consistently, not kind of completely put off the gas.
Right. Yeah, but you know, we condition ourselves to play that way. that's still a good team. They are a really good team. You still have really solid players, Drew and Middleton and Lopez, Pat, all of those guys over there. I mean, that's a good team. So no, there was no way we were going to relax. We knew we had to put together a 48-minute game, and I thought our guys did a good job of really just keeping the pressure on defensively. We were forcing misses and was able to get out into transition because of I think, the good ball movement. We got into a rhythm offensively, was knocking down shots, and was able to stretch that lead, at that time. And those are things that you want to do when something like that happens. You want to try to take advantage of that. And I thought our guys, stayed focused on what we needed to do, and they executed well.
Trey's out, everyone's rolled. Something's modified somewhat. What's the key to guys having the mindset to be successful in these different roles?
Well, we talk about, first I want to give credit to my coaching staff because a lot of times, these guys who are stepping in like Cam, Cam came in tonight and had a solid night for us, a really good night. Those were important minutes. We were going to give him minutes tonight, even if Trey played. But without Trey and that, losing that body, his minutes became even more important. But our coaches do a great job of keeping these guys ready, working them, conditioning them to be ready to play if their name is called. And, once again, we've just had guys when they've gotten that opportunity, they've taken advantage of it. Lou, is an experienced guard. Really, he understood what he needed to do. He understood the moment that was in front of him, and he did a good job of really leading this team, establishing the tempo of the game tonight.
Tim Boston.
Sort of along the same lines. You said before the game you didn't want your guys to try to do more than what they normally do, try to Trey out. Did you think that overall you guys were able to do that?
I thought everybody, stayed in their lane. They played their game, and they played connected basketball. We often talk about it really doesn't make a difference who is out on the floor, what five is out on the floor. We need to be connected on both ends of the floor. I thought our defense was much better tonight, guarding the ball, keeping the ball out of the paint. We still need to do a better job of rebounding. They were pounding us on the boards. Offensively, we were connected where we had good ball movement. We weren't turning the ball over. Shot selection was really good. And we was able to get our defense back and set our defense. So just, we talk about our 3 C's, being calm. I thought we showed that all night long, being clear about what we needed to do and being connected on both ends of the floor. And they did that for 48 minutes.
You talked a lot about the paint defense these first 3 games. They averaged over 60 points in the paint. Tonight you outscored them in the paint, 46-44. You mentioned it a little bit, but what allowed you to have such a different level of success in keeping them out of the paint?
I thought our pressure was much better. We have to make these guys uncomfortable. And, this time of the year, you can't allow good players to get rhythm. And I thought our pressure was much better tonight, really the first time in this series. We've played that type of defense, and we're capable of doing it. And I thought tonight we established our defense, and our offense seemed to find its rhythm.
All right, Sarah Spencer.
Nick, what stood out to you about what Cam brought on the defensive end for you guys tonight? And do you envision, if his body handled, tonight well, do you envision maybe a bigger role for him moving forward in the series?
Yeah, well, I mean, he has length, and he takes pride in defending. He's one of the few guys in this league that actually, that's his game. That's where he draws his energy from. It's not so much the offensive end of the floor. He comes out from the start wanting to play defense. And, tonight he had a couple of matchups that we wanted to get him on a few of their guys, of course, Middleton and Drew, try to get some length on those two guys. And, I thought he did a solid job, his first time really playing in a long time, just making them work to score over the top. But he brings length, his ability to guard a guard as well as a forward, just gave us an extra body that we could put out there, especially with our second unit, with most of our guys being in that first unit. It was good to have Cam coming off the bench along with KD tonight.
As far as being more in the rotation, will it just depend on how his body feels?
Yeah, but basically I will get a report, basically, how Cam is feeling, and he's on a minute restriction, and if he comes out of this okay tomorrow, and they may increase his minutes, but I'll get that information on the day of the game.
I have one more quick one. Just how good was it to see shots fall for Bogey? I know you've spoken about how he's, even when shots weren't falling, he was still pushing through that injury to give you guys time that you needed from him. How good was it to see maybe a little bit of payoff from him tonight?
Well, Bogey is basically an example of this team. They just keep fighting. There's a lot of guys with some tweaks and some injuries and, playing in some pain. And, his shot hasn't been falling the last few games, and he stayed with it, but we believe that the next shot is going in. And, I thought he took some good shots tonight. He didn't settle. I thought he got aggressive, tried to get to the basket, and the ball was falling for him tonight. So we didn't lose confidence in him. We believe that, the shots that he takes are going to go in. He's an elite shooter in this league, and it was good to see that ball go down for him.
We'll go to Zoom now and start with Chris Kirshner.
Hey, Nate, since you've taken over the messaging from yourself to believe, when Trey goes down with an injury, what do you say to
Jeff Schultz?
what happened?
I don't hear anything.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Coach, can you hear us?
Jeff, can you try that again?
Chris, why don't you try first?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Since you've taken over, your messaging to the team has been to believe. When Trey goes down and is ruled out prior to the game, what do you say to this group to make them believe that they can win without, obviously, the best player?
Well, we continue to believe. And, what I said to the team was we've been here before where we've lost players on the day of a game. We've had a lot of our starters out throughout this season, and we continue to, basically play next man up role. And the next man up for us they've been able to take advantage of that opportunity and give us good production. And we've been able to win games. And this has been going on throughout the season. So losing Trey was of course, a big loss for us tonight. But we've been in that position before. And, we needed to come out and play a good, solid basketball game. The guys that are stepping into those roles and getting those opportunities, we just tell them to stay in their lane. We don't need them to try to be that player that is out. Play your game. I thought Lou really did a solid job tonight establishing us both offensively as well as defensively. Tonight, we had really good ball movement, 26 assists with this group tonight, only 11 turnovers. And it started on the defensive end of the floor. But, Lou is a veteran, and he got the nod right before the game. He didn't know this morning that he would be starting. He knew that probably was an opportunity, but he really didn't know until we got the call, from the trainer that Trey would not be able to go. He's a pro. He's been really good for us all season long, playing that backup role, but in a starting role tonight, I thought he was just solid, establishing us out there tonight against Milwaukee.
I also wanted to go back to Bogey for a second. So the other night you said that you trusted that the shots were going to fall for him. Obviously what we were seeing is he was struggling with his three-point shot. So what made you believe that, those shots were going to fall for him? Like, what did you see from him specifically to make you believe that?
He's a great shooter. And, there's sometimes, guys lose their rhythm. We know that he's battling some injuries and he doesn't really have his balance, out there, or he hasn't had his balance out there on the floor. And it's difficult to shoot and to play when you're playing on one leg almost. And this kid just continues to fight through it. We believe in him. We needed him. We needed his body out on the floor because we just was limited with the bodies that we had. And he fought through it. He continued to give us everything that he had. And, tonight it was good to see that ball fall for him. I believe, even on one leg, if this guy gets an open look, he's going to knock those shots down. And tonight they were falling for him.
Got time for just three more. They will come from Jeff Schultz, Steve Hummer, and Mark Schwartz.
Nate, I know as a coach, you always have to be prepared for different scenarios. When did you first have a feeling that you might have to go without Trey tonight?
I mean, basically, I went all the way up until just a few moments before I went into the locker room. Trey came in and he went through his workout and just didn't feel good enough. So I was waiting on that, and he came up, we talked, and, so basically probably an hour before the game is when I got the call that Trey wouldn't be able to go, and I had to let Lou know that he would be starting tonight and KD would be backing him up.
And then when you delivered the news to the locker room, or the news got into the locker room, did you hear anything? What was the initial reaction from players as far as you could tell?
I think by the time I got to the locker room and we went into our pregame meeting, I'm sure guys knew about it. I did announce that because it was the first time that I was meeting with the team, that Trey was out officially and that Lou would be starting tonight. But as I said to them, we've been here before where we've had guys have injuries and they can't play, and another guy has to step up and fill in for that guy. And so it wasn't something that we hadn't seen. Of course, Trey does a lot for us, and he's a big part of what we like to do. But these guys have just been playing solid team basketball, regardless of who is out on the floor. And they continue to just give themselves a chance to win ball games.
Steve Hummer.
Yeah, Nate, in the absence of Trey, how important was this team's, ability to initiate offense from many different quarters, not just Lou, but, Huerter did it, Bogey did it, even John Collins saw him throw an alley-oop pass rather than finish one.
Yeah.
Where does that versatility, how did that play tonight, you think?
Well, that's the connection we talk about having out there, where we are connected out on the floor and we're playing as a fist, a tight fist. And that's execution. Again, all of these guys are capable of playing. And, when a guy is out or off the floor, we still expect our guys, or that five that is out on the floor, to execute the game plan, execute the defensive end of the floor, execute on the offensive end of the floor. So it really shouldn't change much as far as what we're doing out there. Now, you got different guys doing some things, but these guys have shown they're capable of handling the ball, making plays, making reads. And I thought tonight, on both sides of the ball, we were connected for 48 minutes.
Final question from Mark Schwartz.
Nate, you have been a part of so many huge games and situations, just like the one that your team went through tonight. And so many players can be told by a coach, believe, play like a fist, be calm, be clear, be connected. And yet, when the ball goes up and Giannis Antetokounmpo is standing on the other side, and Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday and Trey Young, your best players on the bench, rarely do teams show the kind of fight and belief that your team did. What is it about this group that is capable of overcoming the loss of a guy who makes the game so easy for everybody else on the floor?
Well, we show them, we'll show video. We don't, show a lot of bad. We try to show good. And so we will show them what they look like tonight, so that they can see that you believe, you play the game the right way, you play the game together. We constantly get the effort from this group. You will give yourself a chance to win games. And so they will see this video. They will see a lot of good that they did tonight to show them that it works. Working together works. And you have to continue to believe that. You have to continue to trust, and you have to make sure that you bring that effort to the floor. And so they've continued to do those things, and they've been able to win some big games. And I really feel tonight probably was the biggest.
If by any chance you don't have Trey in the next game, will this performance be even more fortifying for your guys in letting them believe that they can do this game after game, even if he's not on the floor?
Absolutely. Again, we talked about where we were at, coming into this game. And this was, of course, yesterday and this morning with Trey. And we was in the same position, in our last series against Philadelphia, where we needed to win a home game, and basically preparing them is something that we really lock in on. We feel that if we're prepared to play the game that we need to play, and these guys go out and execute it as they did tonight, you're gonna win games. They've been able to do that. We, as I mentioned before, we don't get too high when we win, and we don't get too low when we lose. We show them the areas we need to improve on, and tonight they were better than they were our last game, and we always try to take that approach.
Coach.
Good. All right, thank you, guys.
I believe the next person to join us will be Lou Williams.
All right, I'll call you when I'm done.
All right, Lou, we're going to get started with questions in the room. We're going to start with Sarah Spencer.
Hey, Lou.
What's up?
When you guys find out that Trey's not going to be able to go, just how do you and some of the other guards, Boogie, Kevin, how do you guys adjust to not being out there for you guys?
It's not a big adjustment. You just know your minutes is going to go up. The time of the games is going to be different. Other than that, you just get ready to play a basketball game. We got to be pros, and I know it's cliche to hear, but when a guy goes down, another guy got to step up, and so excuse me, coach told me that I was gonna start in this place about before the game. So it was, just for me, it was just just to lock in and know I was gonna play more minutes than usual.
I know you and Onyeka are close and have a close relationship. What has it been like to watch him kind of blossom on the biggest stage of playoffs?
It feels good. It feels good just to learn him, grow with him, and he's a young cat, and for him to look to me for guidance and questions during games and even off the floor, it's a nice bond to have. I didn't know before I got here, so to make a friend in him and be a part of his process, it feels good.
Jeff, go get your say that.
Lou, I understand you guys are professionals, but can you walk me through sort of the mentality that you and the team has to have when someone like Trey, is not going to play, and what prevents you from having the mentality that, man, this is going to be a rough night without a basketball?
I mean, we pros too. We know how to play basketball as well. You know what I mean? I think that's the difference between between the guys in the locker room and everybody else. When Trey goes down, we still feel like we're confident in our abilities as players as well. Obviously, Trey is a major part of what we do, but we feel really good about the things that we bring to the table. And sometimes you got to band together and create success. And I think tonight was one of those nights where everybody played well, everybody chipped in a little more than usual, including myself, and we bridged that gap that Trey brings.
I know it was, you guys got off to a really good start. From that point when it was 10-2, did you realize that you'd be able to play like that the whole night, and you were doing things quickly that was slowing them down even before the end?
No, it's a long game. It's a long game, and we've gotten off to a couple quick starts against this team, and they've walked us down a couple of times, so we don't really get full credit. We understand it's a 48-minute game, and so we just had to stay steady. I thought tonight we just played a steady 48-minute game. We were solid on both ends of the floor. This week in practice, we made great adjustments with the things that they do on the offensive end, and it was working for us.
Tim Bontemps.
It was only a couple of months ago you got traded here, and there was some thought in your mind of things that not planned, at least at the deadline, when you might have to get traded somewhere else. Part of the reason you wanted to come and do with the Hawks is that was there any part of your mind that thought there'd be a moment like this down the road in the playoffs?
Honestly, no. I'll be frank. I wasn't sure. This wasn't a team that I was really paying attention to. In the Western Conference, me playing with the Clippers, we were on a hunt for a championship run, and so my focus was solely on that. And once I had an opportunity to get around these guys, get around the organization, and get a good feel for what was going on around here, I felt like there could be great potential there. But one thing that's been steady since I've been here, this team has always been confident in their abilities, and that showed throughout the playoffs. And so we're enjoying the ride. We feel like we deserve to be here. We've earned the right to be here, and at the same time, we're enjoying it. So, did I look ahead and say, we can be a championship contender day one? I probably not. But we're 2 wins away like everybody else, and we feel good about it.
At the same time, this is the first time I think you've played in the conference finals in your career. You've been
Sure.
A long time. How do you feel to get an opportunity to get to this stage after all the many games and playoff games?
I hadn't been able to, come to grips with I hadn't been able to enjoy the moment. I'm stuck in it. I'm in it. I'm enjoying it, and you ride this thing until the wheels fall off, and then it'll be one of those things where you kind of look back, and you can say what you did or what you didn't do. But I'm happy to be in the moment right now. It's 2-2 going to Milwaukee tomorrow, so it feels good so far.
Sherrod.
Lou, when Giannis went out, you guys were up by 10, less than 3 minutes, you guys are double. When you are in that moment where shooting for the other team goes down, there's almost humiliation kind of ease up a little bit. You guys did just the opposite. You ratcheted it, forced the shooting with this team being able to do that. Particularly as you pointed out, a lot of you, this is kind of the first time you've been in this moment, this deep into the playoffs. Yet you guys don't really seem to be bothered.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the same position, with Trey being out tonight. Like I said, everybody has to throw something in the pot, and when superstar caliber guys go out, you put some other guys in the game, and their eyes are this wide, and they're like, "This is a great opportunity for me to show and prove my abilities," and you don't want to be the guys that let them off the hook because Giannis was off of the floor, and I think we all felt that. We all felt that energy, and we just ratcheted up our energy and was continued to go.
Joe Barton.
talking a little bit about like how it's kind of always been here with confidence among your teammates, but was there one thing that made you become
More comfortable?
Yeah.
Just accepted. I was just accepted. I was wanted. I didn't get the feeling that this was a trade that they just threw together for money reasons or whatever. I felt like I was going to be a part of the success here. And when I met with the guys in Phoenix, they were really warm to me, and really appreciated me being there as their teammate. And so, that feels good. That feels good. A warm welcome anywhere feels good, going into a situation you're not very familiar with. And so I think that was one of the things I wanted to, give myself an opportunity to continue on my career and give these guys an opportunity to be teammates and try to do something special together.
And then you said that you haven't really been able to enjoy the moment because you're in it, but because of a few different circumstances, you're now in a position where you could lead your hometown team to a finals.
Sure.
Gosh, I mean, this late in your career to be able to do that after everything, like, what's that mean?
It's kind of surreal. It's kind of surreal, and that's really all I can say about it. Honestly, like I said, it's day by day. I don't get too high, I don't get too low. Tonight will be one of those nights. My phone is going crazy, and everybody wants to talk, say something, and I'll respond to the appropriate people, and then I'll get ready for the next game. So.
Moving to Zoom, we will start with Chris Kirshner.
Hey Lou, since Nate's taken over, the messaging from him has been to believe and continue to, play together. When you do lose Trey before the game, like, what does he say to you guys to, get you guys to believe that you guys can win without him?
The messaging changed. Like I said, we're pros too, and I think it'd be an ill taste if a coach came in and started saying too much because Trey went out. I think we'll kind of look at him a little crazy. And so, Nate he's a veteran coach. He understands what moments like this mean to other guys that have an opportunity to go out on the floor, and fill in and do their jobs. And that was the message. Continue to believe Trey is going to be out tonight, but continue to believe in your abilities and go out and get a win.
Jeff Schultz.
Lou, kind of along those lines, I mean, like you said, athletes are wired differently, obviously, from fans and media. So when you first heard and guys in the locker room first heard that Trey was out, what goes through your mind? What's the initial reaction?
Honestly, I was on a training table. Nate walked up, said, Trey is going to be out, so I'm going to start you. And I said, okay, and he walked off. That was the conversation. It's not like a remember the Titans thing that happens in the locker room. I promise you it don't. That was it. That was the extent of our conversation, and we got ready for the game.
Could you tell when you got out of the training room or you were around other guys at all? Was it, okay, let's just go out and play? I'm just curious what the general response is.
Yeah, it's game preparation. Everybody has their own routine and thing. It's actually a strange thing if you're in an NBA locker room before a game. Like, nobody is talking to nobody. Everybody is in their own world trying to get themselves prepared for the game. And so that was it. The only other person I spoke to besides Nate was Trey. I just asked him, was he all right? I was feeling, and then I had to go out on the floor and get prepared. So that was it.
Just two more. Zach Klein.
Lou, playing 40 minutes from where you went to high school, what will you remember most about your first playoff start?
That I played well and we won. That's it, really. In situations like that, from a fan's perspective, I'm sure everybody's like, oh hell, Trey is out. And so, it kind of puts me in a position that I have to play well in order for everybody not to boo me. You know what I mean? And so it just feels good to get a win. Go back to Milwaukee 2-2 with a realistic opportunity to go to give yourself an opportunity to go play for a championship. So it feels good.
Final question from Terrell Thomas.
Lou, you've already been asked about Trey, his injury, and of course about you starting tonight, but you were very efficient on the floor. You were taking great shots and you were finding your teammates. I noticed that even when you had some open looks, you were finding a way to make sure that you got your teammates involved. What, if anything, changed in your preparation over the last 48 hours?
Nothing really. Like I said, I had an hour. Only thing I knew that was gonna change. Just from me being around, I knew my minutes was gonna go up, and I just wanted to be efficient. I wanted to take care of the basketball and make sure the guys that's been shooting 10, 15 shots a game got their shots and got them in rhythm. And that was it.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you, Lou. Kevin Huerter and Cam Reddish will join us momentarily. So we will begin with Kevin by himself.
As he goes through the stuff with his knee, but he's still fighting through it to give you guys the minutes you need from him, and then tonight to kind of have that pay off.
It's huge. Honestly, it's in a lot of ways it takes our team to another level. When he's on, when he's making shots, just the ability to score the ball, to make threes in big spots. It's something that we definitely missed for a couple of games, and he's feeling better. As each game gets going, and he's such a tough guy. We need him, and the boost from him tonight was great.
Now that you've been able to spend a couple months with him, what's it like to be around him?
It's funny, man. Lou's kind of always the same. It doesn't matter if he's scoring 21 tonight or if his minutes are down another game and he doesn't get much of an opportunity. He's kind of just even-keeled, steady Lou. Kind of a legend. His way about him. It's just funny. It's just someone you got to be around, like an OG type of feel. He's walking in here with his hat and his chains on, and his coming in here with last game. I don't know how many minutes he got. He comes in here, drops 21, like he's been playing 40 minutes all playoffs, and great guy to have around. Someone who's he's there when you need him, and when he's not, he's a great teammate.
Jeff Silgan.
Sort of along those lines, Kevin, do you have any, because you've been in the league so long, do you sort of remember when you were a kid, like, do you have any recollections, like when Lou Williams first popped on your radar?
Yeah, I mean, obviously growing up watching him. I mean, I remember my rookie year defending him. Like he was coming off the bench for the Clippers. I was coming off the bench here, early on in my career with the Hawks, and I remember he was my matchup, and it was. I mean, he's tough to guard. It's like you can't put your hands on him. He knows how to draw fouls. He has that leaner left, and back then he had a little bit more explosiveness. So he was getting to the rim, and I remember it was just kind of like it was tough guarding this guy. And now it's great to have on our team, and I mean, this is something he's been doing for us. He's stepped up. He's kind of instant offense when you put him into the game for us, and he was huge tonight. We needed every point.
Tim.
You mentioned that you guys had a conversation about the game before the game about not needing anybody to be a hero. And Nate said before the game that was kind of what his message was to everybody. He wanted you guys to kind of stick to what you do, not try to do too much. How do you avoid doing that though in a game like this? Obviously, everyone does want to try to pick up the slack with Trey being out. Like, how are you guys able to do this?
I mean, it starts off. You start the game and everyone touches the ball. The ball moves side to side. You want everybody to find a rhythm. We don't need people transition, pulling up from the logo, and offensively going one-on-one the way Trey can. It's really not anybody's game on this team, so we didn't need people to play like that. And that message was well received. Like I said, you start the game off and all 5 guys score before they have to call a timeout. That really set the tone for the rest of the game, and it wasn't something that we got away from.
How did you guys keep them out of the paint so successfully after they were able to get there a lot?
Trying to be more physical. Clint did a great job one-on-one on Giannis, and trying to just throw different looks at him. He gets deep enough in the paint, trying to run another guy at him, and give him different looks, be more physical on the catch. It helps when they're taking the ball out of the rim. We're keeping them out of transition, and that was a lot better tonight. So, mix of everything. But their whole team, that's kind of a big strength of theirs, living in the paint. That's something we got to continue to try to limit.
Cam, for you, just kind of what was tonight like for you? Just kind of being able to find a shooting rhythm. Obviously for the first time in months. Just what was tonight like, and how did it feel out there?
Again, felt a little bit weird at first, and then as it went on, it got better. I'm just not in game shape yet, but other than that, I felt good. I was happy to be back. Kev, the rest of my teammates were, supporting me nonstop throughout the game, so it felt great to be back.
That's kind of what I was getting at, is not being fully in game shape. It would be impossible for you to be fully in game shape, but just kind of what's the process of kind of climbing back to that? Is it more gradual, or do you just kind of figure it out as you go?
Obviously, it's definitely a process, but just playing, getting back to playing more. Ain't no suicides and nothing on compared to a game. So I just think it's getting back into the swing of things, playing wise.
All right, Jelani, can you take it over?
Sure. First question on Zoom from Chris Kirshner.
Hey, Cam, the other day you said that, you were trusting the process, that, your time will come eventually. How do you, keep that mindset to be a positive one, to, be ready to, play valuable minutes in tonight's game?
I just didn't put too much pressure on myself tonight. Just going out there and just contributing whatever it was going to be. I know I can get after it defensively. That's something I can control. So just trying to be a pest on defense, and then offensively just making the right play, and it worked out for me.
And then Kevin, for you, Nate, since he's taken over, has told you guys to, believe that you guys can win, and believe that no matter who's out, you guys can win. When you see that Trey's out for the game, what is that messaging like, and what is the mindset like from everybody in that locker room?
Yeah, it was obviously it wasn't great news. It was news that we got right before the game. Prepared this morning like he was going to play, and right away I think guys knew they had to step up. Obviously, you insert Lou into the starting lineup, different guys going to get bigger opportunity. Obviously Cam and KD coming in today and giving great minutes. It's like we said a couple questions ago, we didn't need anybody to be the hero. We needed people to come in and just play their game, just play it really well, played at a high level, staying together. It's something we've done all year. Guys filling in and playing to their strengths. And it was really kind of everybody tonight. Defensively set the tone. Offensively, everybody touched it.
McLean Baxley.
Cam, 2 years ago, in a couple of days, you'll just signed your first. 2 years ago, you signed your first professional contract. What have the 2 years been like since then? You played a full season last year, and then injured for 4 months this year. And now you're 2 wins away from a NBA Finals appearance. Can you just kind of describe the past 2 years for Cam Reddish?
A blessing, man. I'm happy to be here. Obviously, I've been through a few injuries. That's all part of the game. And man, I'm just ecstatic to be back. That's all I can say.
And Kevin, who is Cam Reddish off the court? We see him on the court, obviously, but who is he in the locker room? The past 4 or 5 months, when he's not on the field or on the court.
Cam's a quiet guy. I think at first, once you get to know him, he's not so much, and he's someone I think right away. Who's lifting when he's got his music going on in the weight room, especially the last 4 months doing all his rehab and doing all his treatment. He was one of those guys who was in the gym earlier than other people and playing his music and lifting, and always got a smile on his face. So it's great to have him back. We can feel his presence on the court. Guys talking to him in previous series, waiting to get him back. Knew when he was getting healthier, just trying to help him out, give him confidence, and stepping up. It's obviously great to have him.
I gotta ask, what kind of music is he listening to in the gym?
A lot of young boy and a lot of people that I don't know, but a lot of Philly people, and at least I think, but a lot of young boys.
That Klein.
Kev, did Clint Capella steal that shot over the backboard from you and Horst?
The craziest part is I had a feeling like when the clock was going down that somehow that was going to find a way in, and I guess that's how the night was going. But unbelievable shot. I love his reaction. Clint always has the funniest reactions and stuff. So that was a nice moment, especially at the end of the game.
Kevin Chenard.
This one's for Cam. Nate said a bunch of times in the last couple months that there really wasn't time for you to get 5-on-5 practices, and you're playing for a new coach really since the last time you played. How do you prepare yourself for this kind of live action?
It's a good question. I mean, really just staying in the gym, doing everything I possibly can to be ready, and then just believing in myself, having faith, and then trusting God. Once you do that, life's pretty simple.
Mark Schwartz.
Hey, Kevin, they had a little bit of a wired with Nate in the locker room before the game where we actually heard him address the team about Trey not being in the lineup. And he said, believe men, stay clear, calm and collected, and everybody be ready to go. Now, you've heard that, when a lot of players have been out. Well, when you're without the head of the snake, the guy who makes the game easy for everybody else, do you hear it differently? And do you wonder at any level whether you really can believe?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Obviously, it's tough news. We found out with 40 minutes on the clock that he was going to be out. Like I said, prepared for him to be in, and you just can't let doubt seep into your mind. And a couple months ago, I mean, we beat this team at home. Trey was out. Similar type of guys stepped up big, Lou and Bogey, and it's not like we knew we couldn't do it. This is a team that's been resilient all year. Enter every punchline you want about being fearless and not giving up and all that stuff, but there was really never doubt in the locker room. Guys knew what we had to do, how we had to play. Just everybody playing to their strengths and stepping up where they can. And needless to say, we want Trey back for Game 5, but today was a good effort.
A couple more. We will go to Christos.
Hello, Kevin. Hello, Cam. Great game tonight. Kevin, is this win able to change the whole momentum and the whole series for you as a team?
Yeah, in a lot of ways. I mean, 2-2 is a lot different than 3-1. We know we're guaranteed again to be playing at home in front of our own crowd. And yeah, definitely 2-2 is it's a similar position we were last series. Long way to go, but it's a lot better than be down 3-1.
And for you, Cam, what it means to be able to play meaningful moments at this point of the season after 4 difficult months for you and your teammates? How prepared you for the Eastern Conference Finals?
So who prepared me?
How your teammates prepared you?
Oh, I mean, just telling me to stay ready. I remember a few days watching the film with Solomon. Non-stop, just constant encouragement from the guys, and that's what y'all needed. Go out there and just play with confidence, and got the win.
Final 2 questions will come from Leonardo Torres and then Davide.
Hi guys, it's Leonardo Torres from Peru. Congrats on the win. Kevin, how satisfied are you with tonight's offense?
Yeah, it was great to see the ball moving. Everyone touching it. It's an infectious way to play. Guys playing with confidence. Really good feeling.
And Cam, what could you change for the team if Giannis is not available for Game 5?
So what do we change?
Yes.
We want. I don't know. They got to change something.
Turn the lights off on us in here. Time us to go.
That's a good question. Though. I'm not sure. Sure, we'll figure that out though.
Final question from Davide.
Yeah, yes, I'm going with Kevin. How does your role change when Trey's not on the court like tonight? I see you taking more on a playmaking role than you usually do.
Yeah, I think it's that playmaking, being more aggressive. In some ways, trying to manage the game, getting everyone touches, trying to keep us, getting good shots. Kind of just all the above. I mean,